coffee stay black, just like me. Don't need no sugar, don't need no cream.
Welcome back to the Cxffeeblack podcast. We are live at the Specialty Coffee Association Conference, biggest coffee conference in the country. We in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? And we're here with two of my OGs, you know what I'm saying? We're here with Lem, amazing brother. Y'all already know the history, you know the vibe. We with Big Doggy, you know what I'm saying? Dagmawi in the building. It's amazing to be here. We met this brother in Ethiopia. He dropped so many gems. Make sure you check out the documentary because it's crazy. But we're here talking about what does it mean to honor your root. And I know that's a different answer for every person. Y'all obviously heard what it means for us. But I wanted to talk to people who inspire me and hear what that means. And hopefully it will inspire you to think about what honoring your root could look like and how that could look like in different expressions and our different notes and different roots. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. Who wants to go first? Okay. All right. Lem Butler, black and white coffee. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
This is actually something I've been thinking about a lot lately.
Yeah.
Because on the surface, a lot of people will just see the fruit structure.
Whoa.
But they don't see the root structure.
Oh, okay. We get agricultural right now. Yeah.
I want to talk about coffee.
Come on, bro. Let's get into it.
I mean, my journey, I've been in coffee 20 years, and that root structure has brought me to the place I am now.
Wow.
And starting out, I didn't know anything about coffee.
Wow.
I didn't know where coffee would take me. I didn't even know I would be in coffee.
Yeah.
Along the way, I've learned about community and how important that is to me.
Yeah.
Coffee taught me that.
Wow.
Building relationships.
Before you elaborate, what do you mean by coffee taught me that?
So, actually, in Rwanda,
Yeah.
talking to Zion,
Yeah.
Zion was saying how coffee calls people.
Yeah.
It's not like the sought out coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee sought you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was looking for a career in coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee.
Was looking for a career in you.
Right.
Come
You know
on.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so with that happening, that root structure started to grow without me even knowing.
Wow.
Until I started focusing more on the importance of relationships in coffee and building community. One thing my first boss taught me the success in her business was taking care of the people on both sides of the counter, her staff, her customers, and taking care of the product, taking care of the coffee. That was the importance and her success of the business.
Yeah.
And as I grew in coffee, it started, doing different things like competing.
Yeah.
When I went over to counterculture and doing account management, I saw the successes in the coffee business. People who focused on me. The people who came within the product.
Yeah.
And the failures of the organizations were the people who focused more on the profits.
Wow.
The people, money over the people. So throughout the years, I kind of had this thing going on in the back of my mind of what a coffee company for me would look like.
Yeah.
And then in 2017, I had that opportunity to start a good piece.
Wow.
And when I started it, that's when I saw that restructure.
Yeah.
My journal is good about.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to do it with black and white.
Yeah.
Black and white.
So break down the name, because I know the name. I see the panda. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know the vibes, but like, what is the story behind the name?
Nothing's really black and white, but the idea of things being black and white is simplicity. And having simplicity kind of removes the ego person from coffee. Coffee can speak.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So if I could remove myself from the packaging, if I could remove all that busy work from the packaging, focus on the producer.
Yeah.
Focus on what the producer is doing. Let that speak.
Yeah.
This is Bloom's thing.
Yeah.
Ours thing.
Yeah.
Black and white. No, this is a coffee thing. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So that simplicity, I felt was important.
Wow.
A panda, spending time in China.
Yeah.
I wanted a black and white animal.
Yeah.
And about zebras.
Come on, and like that, people like your heritage is beyond just African American as well. You got Asian heritage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I wanted a panda is pretty docile.
Yeah. Till you mess with it.
As a gentle giant, like you.
You know what I'm saying? I like that. Big panda, you know what I'm saying? Come on.
So I just wanted that, docile, that simple.
Yeah.
Passive. animal.
Wow. Yeah, come on.
To represent black and white.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
And that's where all that came from.
Come on.
And the whole purpose of black and white is to create opportunities in coffee. Who are curious about coffee.
Come on, bro. And like when I started in coffee, it's funny, we just saw Keba from Red Bay Coffee, but like there were like 4 or 5 people when I was looking like who has done this before that's black in America, and like y'all names are on the articles. You know what I'm saying? It's for so many of us, like our roots started with you all's roots. You know what I'm saying? Like we're an offshoot of that. And I love to take moments like this just to honor, you know what I'm saying, the people who have been inspired by what you have done. You know what I'm saying? Like the work you've done has like moved a lot of us to see that there's a possibility there. And the interesting about plant structures is like the nutrients that are brought in by the leaves and that then go into the fruits also nourish the roots. And I think it's important for us to share that. A lot of times the energy is, like you said, is just on the fruit. And we ignore the fact that if you don't nourish the root, if you don't water the root, there really won't be fruit to speak of in 10 years. And so I want to take the opportunity to say thank you, bro, for what you've done for so many of us. And I'm excited just to have you even on the Barista Exchange trip. Was so beautiful. Bro, I can't wait to show people the film. We'll have screenings coming around the country soon, but man, and then to be able to plant phase 2. Like, this is about to change the world. I'm super excited, man. Thank you. And the beautiful thing is, turns out you weren't in Ethiopia with us, but you knew this brother. You know what I'm saying? So there's a connected root here. You know what I'm saying? So how do you prefer to be addressed? Because I've been calling you Big Doggy in my head, but I don't know if that's correct. It's Dagmawi. How do you prefer? Doggy.
Doggy. That's the most affectionate way to call me.
Come on. Okay, cool. So we're here with Dagmawi. This brother's a genius.
Yeah.
He spoke to us for 20 minutes in Ethiopia, and we've been thinking about it for 4 months. So there's tons of information, high density coffee. You know what I'm saying? A lot to extract here. Yeah, come on, Highland coffee. And we had a chance to hear you speak yesterday about these indigenous coffee cultures in different communities, which was like mind-blowing, and something I'm extremely curious about. If you would like to elaborate on that, we'd love to hear that. But in general, to you, what does it mean to honor your root, and what could that look like through a thing like coffee? And what does that look like for you in your life?
To be honest, I never thought of it that way until last season.
Okay.
I was already in coffee for about 5 or 6 people at art, and I recognized this because coffee was around all the time of my life.
Yeah.
And I was just always never really paid attention to it. I would drink it day and night. It's what they do after, being from Ethiopia. The coffee is everywhere.
Yeah.
And because it's everywhere, it wasn't something I noticed.
Yeah.
Nor appreciate.
Yeah, it's kind of in the background.
Yes.
For sure.
Always.
Yes.
It'd be coffee, and that became kind of a reflection moment where people asked me questions. And some of the questions were straight into some of them, but not so simple. The more you just start answering it with like there's more layer.
Complexity. Yeah.
Go way deeper and really reach the little inside part that's like,
Yeah.
And for me, I started making coffee when I was maybe like 7, 8. My grandma would come home, and if there's nobody else in the house, Ethiopians don't like to make all the coffee. Usually somebody else. Amazing. So I did drink. Before you drink, as you were making it for other people. So, I started drinking 5, 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Beginning like with milk or...
Really?
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, my grandma used to tell me you can't drink coffee because it'll make you black and it'll make you short. Obviously, I'm very black and very tall, so like I don't think it worked out. But for you as a kid, it's like, it was approved to drink it as a kid.
My daughter, they start drinking when they...
Come on, you heard it here, folks. Coffee will not make you short. Enjoy it. Coffee for kids. It will make you black, though. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna talk about that right now. That's right. Yeah.
And I was like, I knew how to process coffee in terms of roasting it.
Yeah.
I'd walk with my first job. I went to school here in the U.S. It was at a coffee shop.
Okay.
In a coffee shop.
Yeah.
It was just a job.
Okay.
But after I got it, then I noticed how coffee is a black. But the rules is like it's the past with the present and the future. And it was like
Yeah.
like what you were saying, you know,
Yeah.
cyclical.
Yeah.
There. The food becomes the tomorrow's sibling, and it kind of goes back again and again and again.
I be saying like coffee is a form of Afrofuturism, or it's a form of hip hop, in the fact that when you take the seat in hip hop, you're taking a sample from the past, contextualizing it into today's tempo, and then you're speaking a futuristic ideal on top of it. And in that way, coffee is like the history manifests in the present in order to propel the future. I'm with you. This man be spitting, bro. Like, that's crazy.
For me, when we were articulating our coffee brand is Ya Coffee.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the reason why we picked it. And in our language, Ya means that. It is really well known for a location or a place or a person. But somehow you forget it and you talking to people, you know that place, you know that spot.
Yeah.
And that happening, please.
Yeah. I can't stop saying.
Yes. So
That's crazy.
okay, why don't we play on that? But you know the RCI.
Yeah.
And wherever you go, really has a positive vibe, nothing negative about it.
Yeah.
So we just took it. And then when we were trying to develop product lines, then, why roots takes me to my grandma, my great grandma. But my future is my tool out. So towards the product means are them.
Wow.
So one means new flower,
Yeah.
and the other one means giving thanks.
Wow.
So it's like, and that's why I did. And that's the way you want.
Wow.
Ultimately, but also culture, even us, people do this. But I'm saying we need the future of God,
Yeah.
but the past and the present is, that's how they meet.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're a bit too attached to the past.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes, forgiveness doesn't come that easy.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
So, and with that, for me, coffee means it's just a platform. It's a platform thing.
Wow.
Anyone has to take it to it.
Wow.
But I want to make sure that it stays open.
Yeah.
They're closed platforms and open platforms.
Yeah.
And the closed ones are not really healthy ones.
For sure. They stagnant.
Yes.
Yes.
But the open ones is like, when you're really felt. That's how I see it.
It's just think about the whole concept. You think about roots, right? When you buy like a plant from the store, it's in this small, tiny pot. It's a closed system, and all the roots are kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But when a healthy tree, a healthy plant, the roots are forever expanding. So, man, this is beautiful, bro. Thank y'all so much for taking the time to share a bit about your story, a bit about your roots. Man, this idea for me of names comes up in both of y'all's story, like why you have a certain name, why you named your brand, your products, and that speaks to the past, present, and future of what you see yourself being. If you had to put a name on the future, we talked a bit about it, and this is my last question. What would the future of these roots, what do you imagine for? What do you hope for the future of these roots that we're honoring through such an amazing plant like coffee? What do you hope the world takes and expands upon in the next future? It could be things from indigenous cultures that people have forgotten that need to be remembered. It could be new processes that are actually old processes from the Garage people that are coming back in style. But what do you hope to see for the future of the honoring of these roots? What kind of fruit do you imagine? I be doing it sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I be doing it sometimes.
It's a little now.
This is helpful.
Coffee producers taking ownership of what they're doing.
Let's talk about honoring your roots. Yeah.
The Western world coming in and saying, hey, let's build these.
Wow. Yeah.
Ain't this much for your coffee. A doggy earlier, it's like me walking into a Nike store.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I play ball.
Come on.
Those Nikes aren't worth $150. They're worth $20. I'm gonna give you $20.
That's crazy.
Yeah, why is the shoe walking into the farmer's store and I'm gonna take?
Bro, that's insane. That's That's a truly amazing point.
So I want to see that. I want to see, farmers coming to me and telling me
This is how much farming works. There was a thing that you said, Dagmawi, when we were in Ethiopia at Dukamo, and you said we have to be more curious about ourselves. Like, part of the issue is that we don't see our own histories and our own land and our own fruit as something to be curious about, something to have fun with, and that is where innovation comes from. And a world for that with farmers, at least in my conversation, sometimes it's hard to conceptualize because so much of the history is so heavily colonial and tied to trauma, that a world where you're actually having fun with the fruit of your own labor is almost like incomprehensible. But let's push forward and say, if that was possible, how would that work? What do you think some tips and tricks you would have for that to happen? And then, of course, you can answer the original question as well. But you spoke about this before, and so I'm curious if you have thoughts around that.
So, it's almost every new religion somehow seems to be traumatized one way or another.
Yeah.
The past, the present, I think, it's what you said, for me is, I think we talked about it earlier. You don't really, it just starts, all right, peace with yourself. Somehow you find that space where you look at yourself, not just as a person, and then as a family, as a community, as a society, and look back. Granted, it's like having a family. Almost no family is perfect.
Yeah.
You have cousins that treat. Whatever it is, there's always issues.
Yeah.
But you can find a way to celebrate the nice and beautiful things that you have.
Yeah.
Then that little contact point that is positive and celebratory, you could kind of help expand it. And in a way, coffee could do that. Because, where I come from, coffee is a social product. Cash came to it later.
Yeah.
So, it's funny when I tell people, in Ethiopia 30 years ago, if you ask people to pay for a cup of coffee, people look at you like, what's wrong with you?
Wow.
It's something you just drink and enjoy. It's not like, now we find it in every street corner, people paying and drinking coffee.
Yeah.
But it's still the value they cherish most of the conversation that they experience.
That's amazing.
To celebrate those moments.
Yeah.
So that I think moving forward, because you can explore yourself as coffee. I think you can do that in whatever passion you have.
Yeah.
What it allows you, but it's freeware. The sharing part is almost instantaneous with coffee.
Yeah.
It's like you just roll it.
You just do it.
Like
Wow.
Because it's not only spiritual and mental.
Yeah.
But you can smell it, you can touch it. You can literally involve all your senses.
Wow.
And the sixth sense part is what kind of brings that consciousness everywhere.
That's crazy too, because like 20 years ago, especially in North Carolina, you didn't hear of anything. There was no. Yeah. It was like, this is my information.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my information. I'm not going to share it with people. And coffee, none of that.
And I think that is such an interesting thing, because when I got into coffee, it was very much so, and maybe it's just Memphis, but like everybody I talked to, black, white, whatever, we were all just passionate about coffee. And so people were willing to share if you were willing to ask and listen. And I think that when we went, when we learned about Buraf Nagia and Nabina, and like this idea of may your house lack no coffee nor peace, and coffee being a seed of peace, you were sharing your peace. And then the idea like people weren't charging, it resonated so deeply with me, because like that was my coffee experience. Like I just didn't know there was a word for it. I didn't know there was like a reference or root for it. It was just like this random fruit I found on the ground. There's a whole root system for this. And I think that is so much more powerful, because that's how systems grow. You know what I mean? Like you said, closed systems don't grow. So
I think, at the end of the day, and to work there, I don't know. I don't know what the world break 5 years from now.
Yeah.
People talk about climate change being a challenge, this and that. It's not for it. At the end of the day, I believe that human things find some issues. It's like we will sort it out one way or another.
Yeah.
It's like when push comes to shove, you stand up, you deliver.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, people being this don't have to wait until they're born.
Yeah.
Rather, the system becomes more focused so that no one is sweating or, being put in that,
Yeah.
It's like, I see it in animals. Nobody wants to be cornered in a position. It's like a cat could be a dangerous thing. If you really corner her, like literally tearing you apart. And nobody thinks cat could kill a person, but they can. And it's,
Wow.
they have nowhere to go. It's like, so I think opening things up, really having that opportunity just to, I think human beings there is so much positivity that has been covered because of the bad that takes place all over the news in the world. And just to sit down and have that moment, maybe it goes back to what I was saying. As an individual, you need that space to reflect. And for me, coffee has been there.
Yeah.
Because people talk about coffee people being eccentric, this and that, but I feel like they're really strong introverts who are very comfortable with reflecting with themselves, talking to themselves.
Yeah.
But because they've done that so much, when they come out, they look like introverts.
For sure.
Really.
And I'm sure the caffeine doesn't help. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. That's what Mr. Exover.
The thing it's like coffee is literally the world's most popular drug. And so when you do drugs with your friends, it's generally more fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to do drugs by yourself in a corner? You know what I mean? But then there is an opportunity to reflect and to be able to I'm taking time by myself. I'm sharing what I've learned. Now I'm going back to be able to, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about even the symbolic nature of the 3 sips. You know what I'm saying? Arbo, Tona, and Bedakat, these ideas of it's reciprocal, the number 3, and there being multiple passes, and one is stronger, one is weaker, one's more in the middle. Those concepts I think are, in my faith belief, I think are very they have a lot to teach us,
Yes.
And I think that coffee has a lot to teach us if we'll listen. And I hope that, as we see the world continue to grow, that we see that. And I talk about this a lot, but with the whole, global warming thing, the world is turning, and I'm seeing it happen in research for looking for other species to take and then propagate around the world. And I hope we learn from Arabica in the sense that when you only extract from the ground and from the people, and you don't take the fruit of that and put it back into it, you're going to end up in the same position in another 200 years, and you'll be looking for another species to max out to its but if you were just encourage and work with and water the roots that produce this, you'll actually have more in the future.
I mean, even us are meant to go back to the ground.
Yeah,
alone the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even on other things, even us, ultimately, we're supposed to nourish the ground back.
Yeah.
Even what we did.
Yeah, bro. Come on. Even if you don't want to, you will. Yeah. Wow.
So,
That's amazing, man. I expected nothing less from a conversation with y'all brothers. Come on, man. Thank y'all so much for taking the time today. This is dope. If my camera didn't die and ruin all our footage, I'll post it and share it later. It'll be what it's supposed to be, man.
Coffee stay black, just like me. Don't need no sugar, don't need no cream. Coffee stay black, just like me.